Hello. Professor Komori, can you hear me?
Yes,
Nice to see you again.
nice to see you. Good evening.
So we will start in 5 minutes later.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
전북대 김인희 선생님한테 전화
Hey, I cannot hear you.
했다고 그랬는데 어딘지 모르겠어요.
Sorry, I forgot turning off the mute. Yeah, can you hear me right now?
Yeah, can hear
Yeah,
you.
okay. Hi.
Everything is good?
Nice to meet you.
안녕하세요. Hello everyone.
안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
Please speak in English.
Hello. Hi Cheng. Hi Komori.
Hi.
Good to see you again. In Japan, the time is 10 around
Same.
10 p.m. But
Yes.
we are meet in the different time in the world, different countries around the world.
Mhm.
Hello,
Oh,
Torimura
hello.
sensei.
Oh, Terimura.
Everybody, how are you?
So now it's 10 p.m., but we have only a few editors now. So if you don't mind, can you please wait 5 more minutes?
Okay. Is there any country suffering from the heavy rain in the Asia? Is there any countries? Korea is suffering now from heavy rain. Many people died, so many people is lost. Therefore, we are very sad in the news.
Yeah.
How about in Japan? Is there any heavy rain
Yeah.
in Japan?
In our prefecture, Fukuoka prefecture, we had heavy rain last week. So
Last
some
week.
someone died, some died. How about Nagasaki Prefecture?
Not so strong
Not so-
comparing
Oh,
to Kumamoto or Fukuoka Prefecture. Yeah.
In Korea, the southern part is suffered from heavy rains, so many people died. In the middle area, we call it Chungcheong area. There are many people died of the heavy rain.
How about Seoul?
Okay, very sad.
We're okay in Seoul.
But
Yeah.
we are here to congratulate the second board meeting. So don't be sad. Please be happy.
Okay, we have now Dr. Sylvia and Paul. Hello.
Hello, good morning, or good morning for me at least.
Nice to see you again.
My pleasure.
Good
Hello,
morning, everybody.
Paul.
Nice to see. I hope everybody is safe there.
Good morning.
So we will start at 5.
10:05.
10:05.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for the rest of the editors to arrive. They're coming in a little bit late. So we'll start at 10:05, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Okay.
no worries. Okay.
Hi, Grace.
Hey, hi. Hello, everyone. It's
Hi,
quite late
hello.
in Seoul, right? Yeah, so nice to see you all.
Okay. Good to see you again.
Hello,
Rain. In Hong Kong, you asked is there any rain in the Hong Kong?
Oh, yeah,
Kong?
we had typhoon today. Yeah, so quite some rain. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Similarly, also a lot of rain in Korea. I learned from the news that some southern
Right.
part of the Korea very like heavy rain and
Right.
flooding, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, so we'll start in about a minute because everyone's. Oh, no, I think the microphone's on. Okay. I think almost everyone's here, so yeah, we'll start in about a minute.
Hi, Grace, how are you?
Hey, hi. So yes, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, yes.
Hi.
Oh,
So it's time to start. So thank you very much for coming up to this important meeting. So today's moderator will be our English editor, Debbie. So please.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the second International Editorial Board meeting for CMH. Today is July 17th, 2023, and it is now 10 p.m. Actually, it is 10:03 here in Seoul and 9 o'clock in the morning in New York, 6 a.m. in Los Angeles, and 2 p.m. in London. Thank you all for joining us. So good morning and good afternoon and good evening to you all. My name is Debbie Won, and as Professor Kim said, I am an English editor for CMH, and I'm also an English news anchor based here in Seoul, Korea. And I'll be moderating today's meeting with the help of Professor Seung-Up Kim, who is the editor-in-chief of CMH. And let's move on to the agenda for today's meeting. Is the slide up? Okay, we'll just wait a little bit for the presentation slides to go up. All right, so that's the introduction. Please move on to the next slide if you can. 다음 슬라이드 주세요. All right, so here's the agenda for today's meeting. We're going to start with two opening speeches by a couple of our executive board members joining us today. And then Professor Seung-Up Kim will discuss the present and future direction of CMH. After that, we'll have a review of previous board meeting from last year, followed by an open discussion to improve the quality and citation of our journal. And lastly, we'll have a short award ceremony for the best awards to our contributing editors. Now, before we begin, I would like to thank Professor Shi-Hyun Bae, the president of the Korean Association for the Study of the Liver, as well as Professor Yoon-Jun Kim, the editor-in-chief emeritus, and the president-elect of the KASL for joining us today. And of course, moving on to the next slide, all of our international editors for joining us. And for the sake of time, I won't be going over every single name individually, but we will show everyone's name on the next slide as well. Thank you all for joining us from all around the world. Next slide, please. And here they are. Thank you all for joining us. And do we have any other slides of our editor's name? Next slide. Okay, so now we will begin with an opening speech by Professor Shi-Hyun Bae of the Catholic University of Korea. Again, he is the president of the Korean Association for the Study of the Liver. So Dr. Bae, whenever you're ready.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Professor Shi-Hyun Bae from the Catholic University of Korea, and I've been serving as the president of CASL since 2022. Everyone gathered enthusiastically at this meeting. First of all, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all the international board members who attended the second international board meeting today at different times in different countries around the world. And also thanks to Professor Seung-Up Kim, the current editor-in-chief of CMH, for inviting me again to this meeting. The driving force behind the remarkable growth of our journal has been the persistent effort to eliminate bias toward the country or reputation of the research team that submitted the paper, and to evaluate the papers purely based on the academic merits. The understanding is that this was made possible not only by the domestic editors, but also by the international editors through fair and objective discussion and evaluations. The plan of the CASL is to extend opportunities for promising emerging researchers to submit their outstanding studies to CMH and to provide full support to establish CMH as a globally recognized academic journal, and to ensure further growth of and development of our journal. We plan to regularize the CMH International Editor Board meeting in the future. Thank you again for your time and support for CMH.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bae. And we also have another opening speech by Professor Yoon-Jun Kim of Seoul National University, and he is the president-elect of KASL. So Dr. Kim, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Yoon-Jun Kim from Seoul National University, Seoul, Korea. from 2016 to 2019, I have had the privilege of serving as the editor-in-chief for CMH. First, I would like to extend my profound appreciation to Sung Kim, the current editor-in-chief of CMH, for inviting me to participate in today's International Editorial Board meetings. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to all the international members who have joined us for this gathering. This year, CMH is anticipated to maintain an impressive impact factor, approximately at the value of 8.9, which is consistent with the last year's performance. This achievement treats CMH as the 11th highest ranked international journal in the field of gastroenterology and hepatology. Several factors have contributed to the development and success of CMH. Among them, one of the most significant factors may be the dedicated effort to incorporate distinguished international editors with exceptional research expertise, which has played a huge part in elevating the standard of our journal. As an example, we have published a special issue of CMH that reviews the guidelines for HCC from various countries around the world. I acknowledge that transforming CMH into a globally representative academic journal will present some challenges. However, if we collectively persist in our efforts, underpinned by the principles of fairness, transparency, expertise, and speed, I'm confident that the outcome will be very successful. Thank you all for your attention, and I look forward to having further discussions with this meeting. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kim, for your opening remarks. And now I would like to invite Professor Seung-Up Kim of Yonsei University, who is the editor-in-chief of CMH, and he will share a few words on the present and future of our journal. So Dr. Kim.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that the growth of CMH was possible due to the proactive and passionate effort of our international and local editors. As I will show you later, you will be able to see that CMH is standing shoulder to shoulder with traditional GI journals. As the editor-in-chief, I'm very grateful to be able to hold the second editorial board meeting with a sense of great pride. Next slide, please. So here's a review of our very first editorial board meeting from last year. We had about a dozen international editors join us to discuss the performance of CMH and ways to improve the journal. As you can see, less than 8% of submitted papers got accepted over the past 3 years, showing that the journal is highly competitive. As you can also see in the bar graph on the right, the highest number of citations were seen in guidelines, but a fair amount of citations were also seen in original articles and reviews as well. This table shows which articles from CMH were most cited by other journals last year. As you can see, the top 2 most cited papers were both guidelines, followed by a good amount of original and review papers. So graph shows the JCR impact factor since 2016. As you can see on the right, far right, the impact factor rose to 8.9. So here's the list of suggestions that were made in our last editorial board meetings. The first one is inviting an artificial intelligence editor. Second one is publishing a special issue reviewing the Asian clinical guideline for HCC. The last one is inviting young investigator to join our editorial team. In addition, as Professor Kim also said, CMH published 26 review papers regarding NAFLD last February, which already show the real-time effect more than 3 points. And to reflect one of the suggestions, we did publish a special issue of CMH with the review articles regarding HCCC guidelines of Asian countries shown here. When it comes to the invitation of young experts, we had 4 of our international editors recommend a total of 17 young researchers. After reviewing the candidate, we narrowed it down to 5 individuals and ultimately had 3 young experts join our team. And here's our vision for the future of our journal. First, we hope that CMH will be a reader-friendly journal. Second, we will cover controversial and interesting scientific issues. And the last one, we will try to shorten the time for peer review and ensure quality of our content. Also, please remember that your opinion or suggestions are already welcome for improving the journal. So now it's time for discussion. From now on, Debbie will take over the presentation.
All right, so as you, please move on to the next slide, please. Actually, no, this is the right slide. I'm sorry. So we have a total of 3 topics to discuss today. And the first one, as you can see here, we would like to ask our international board members to talk about their impression of the CMH journal or give an overall assessment of our journal so far, starting with the members listed on this slide. So any of our 5 board members, you are more than welcome to speak at any time. So Professor Kim, would you like to choose one of our board members to speak on this issue or?
Okay, I'd like to choose Professor Cheng.
All right, Professor.
Do you have any opinion for this? So I think the reliability or authority may be the most important thing, but what about the impression outside of Korea?
Yeah, so I'm TC Zheng from the National Taiwan University Hospital. Yeah, and I think the CMH, including our editorial member and also our editor-in-chief, we must do something right, because I found that there is an increase of the impact factor of this journal, but not a drop. Most of the journal, they lost some of their impact factors, but not CMH. So we must do something right. And I think right now we may rank the top 1 journal in Asia. And I think moving to a journal with a double-digit impact factor should be our next goal. And for the impression of our CMH, I think most of the researchers know that this is a Korean official journal of the liver. But now I think we should be change their impression to be a good journal in liver research. As right now, we now have a better impact factor. So I think we have a better chance to select a research with a higher quality or better novelty. So I think already is a chance for us to further to let all the research in this field know that CMH is really a good journal. And I think that's my suggestion. So, and one more thing, I'm still thinking how to improve the journal to that it is reader friendly. I'm wondering do you think we can add an abstract, a graphic abstract as our part of our paper, so that the readers can read a graphic abstract, so that they can understand the content and get a very quick impression of what this research is about. Maybe that will help us to help the readers to understand the research better. So I would like to have your opinions about this suggestion. Yeah.
Okay, you mean you are not hesitating to submit your nice paper to CMH?
Yes, you are right.
Okay.
Usually we rank a good journal as if it has a double-digit impact factor. I think it's a good journal. So I think we are moving to this goal. So I think I will not hesitate to submit my work to this journal. Yeah.
Okay, so actually we are now receiving the graphic abstract for all original articles. So do you mean that we need more graphic abstract for review paper or editorials, something like that?
Yeah, I think maybe if we have a graphic abstract for every research paper, I think that will help our readers to understand the research better or more quickly. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, so is there any other comment or recommendation or suggestion from other professors?
Sure, I'd like to speak up. Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. So I'm Paul Kuo from Stanford University, and I too have been just very impressed with the growth of CMH in the US where we are. This is a journal that we use. You know, the world is now just so intertwined and international, and I think CMH being now the premier hepatology journal in for Asia, it's wonderful to see perspectives and research that come from the journal for many of us who practice here and understand the perspective that comes from Asia for diverse diseases where there are different presentations, NAFLD. It was fascinating to see how different hepatologists elsewhere care for those with hepatitis B. And so I think moving forward to really improve, if you will, the impact factor of CMH, I think there are some relatively straightforward steps that can be taken that will help. And I see other journals do this very successfully. And so, number one, I think that for purposes of improving impact factor, I think one of the most important things, in addition to some of the changes that were made last year, it would be great if we could maybe make an impact on accepting or prioritizing some of the clinical trials that occur in Asia. You know, over the next few years, there's going to be, you know, a large number of trials being conducted in NAFLD and hepatitis B, right? Because there are so many potential therapies in the works. It would be wonderful if some of these could be directed, because many occur in Asia. It would be wonderful if some of these could be published in CMH. I think that would be wonderful. And if you will, even a continuing corner where we could have, you know, comments on some of the, if you will, updated results of, for instance, we may have this year, at least in the US and the EU, it's potentially possible we'll have our first approved drug for NAFLD. We'll see. That's resmetirom. And I think there'll be other opportunities moving on over the next few years. The other thing, in addition to a visual abstract, and I really like Dr. Singh's question about that, or suggestion about that, I wondered if perhaps, and this may be, I'm not sure how popular it is in Asia, but it would be wonderful to have a more established presence on social media. There are some of the editors here who are quite prolific on Twitter, and I realize currently Elon Musk is a controversial guy, but nonetheless, having articles, I do follow, or try to follow, I don't do it very successfully, Twitter, but I'm amazed how many good articles are promoted on Twitter that I put aside to make sure that I read. And as I write reviews, I find some of these very, very helpful. Both authors and associate editors and editors sometimes tweet about particularly impactful papers. And I think this improves the reach, particularly for the younger generation hepatologists, because they're much more savvy about this, clearly much more savvy about this than I am. And anyway, those are my initial thoughts. And again, thanks so much for having this meeting, and congratulations on a successful year.
Thank you.
Okay, actually, we have a plan to establish some kind of SNS,
Social media.
social media, but you know, the issue is the money. So we have now president-elect next year here. So maybe I hope he will be able to increase the budget for the publication committee of CASL. Then we can operate social media maybe next year. Okay, thank you for your suggestion. And
Okay, and do we have any other board members who would like to add to that or assessment or suggestions on ways to improve our journal?
so I have one thing to tell you about the next year, the impact factor. So at the end of last June, the real-time impact factor is around 5.3. So theoretically, the next year impact factor will be at least 10.6. So I think maybe next year we can receive more high-quality papers, I hope. Okay.
Okay, I think that was a really nice transition into our next topic, which is how to increase the number of citations as well as the impact factor of our journal to more than 10 points, as Professor Kim just mentioned. So can we move on to the next slide, please? Okay, so here's our second topic. Can any of our board members listed here on this slide would like to add to that discussion?
Hi, this is Grace Wong from Hong Kong. Maybe I can share some of my thoughts. That I always feel that if we set the platform to let our experts to discuss something a little bit controversial, which usually we invite someone to support you or against you, and then your papers will be highly cited. So I guess maybe we can seize the chance of the name changing exercise recently about meso or methyl. That is still a little bit controversial, at least from Asia Pacific perspective and from the West. So I'm not sure whether editor-in-chief with this is appropriate to invite some of the experts in the field to submit either original papers or some of the either review articles or some expert view to talk about this topic, which I think is still very heated at this moment. So, and then this kind of papers will attract quite some citations. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Professor Wong. Do you have any comments on that?
So if we can invite Grace for the controversial issue, so you can send me your nice paper to CMH.
Yeah, I think our team, in fact, is also quite interested to work on this area. So yeah, our team would love to contribute. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So this meeting is recorded, now being recorded, so please. Okay, so any other comments from other editors?
Yeah, Shuji from Niigata. Can I see? Okay, from me is a good impact review paper and that good original paper gathering is to increasing is many people knowing the system. And the other thing is some position paper concerning to the castle have to doing. I think is that is related to guideline, but is some future aspect to showing the position paper concerning to the castle, and this might be is to be very important to the field of the hepatology, and this is one idea.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. By the way, great to see you all here. And yeah, my name is Judong Yang. So as Grace and the Dr. Komori just mentioned, I think that the doing really good job on some of the review papers or or some of the controversial issues will bring lots of the citation for sure. One thing that I would like to emphasize is that the get more involvement from key opinion leader, international key opinion leader will definitely help. And also that way, actually, they know actually this journal more and more. I think that people here, my overall sense here in the US is that people here are not really very familiar with this journal, to be honest with you. So I think that if we have more involvement from key opinion leader in the field outside of the Korea for review article or the commentary or whatever it may be, I think that they will know the journals, and with the word of the mouth, people will consider this journal more and more, knowing that we have a pretty good impact factor, and eventually we'll have more original article submission as well. And that's my suggestion.
Okay, thank you for your nice comment. Okay. So can I ask a question to Professor Yang? So what is the most big hurdle to US investigators? Why the CMH is not so well recognized in these days? Because the impact factor is increasing.
Well, so I don't know actually. I think that many people just don't know the journal, and honestly, and I think that they just this journal is now on their list actually, as they think about the journal to submit their paper, and so I think that as people have more exposure to this journal and knows the journals and impact factors, quality of the journal, I think that they will consider this journal more and more. And again, I think that will be important, just the awareness of the journal and quality of the journal. I speak actually my colleagues to submit this paper. I mean, there was a paper in ChatGPT recently. There was some internal communication actually, and then we submitted and then I think it seems like it's bringing good citation already. So I think that if people know and then start discussing and this journal as an option to submit paper, I think that will gradually increase our visibility of our journal and more submission and eventually more citation too.
So what do you think about the physical method to increase the reputation of our journal, not just content or quality?
I think that so having them actually, for example, some of the international the investigator actually invite them to write a review paper or the opinions or editorials. That way, actually, they have a chance to interact with the journal or publish, and then they'll know the journal more and more. I think, or yeah, I think that probably that will be the most probably efficient way actually for them to know, experience the journal, and think about the journal as they consider the journal to submit their paper. I don't know what other people think.
But one problem is they do not respond to our invitation.
Oh, really?
Yes. Maybe our mail go into the spam box, mostly.
I think that then having some of the personal connection will definitely help. I mean, I think that many of you also probably receive these invitation that we most of the time ignore. Very often we ignore ourselves. I think that the reason why sometimes they don't respond is they just don't know the journal or the people who invite. If we kind of use the connection or use the opportunity, let's say that if you invite them to speak at the council meetings, or kind of use that opportunity to invite them to write a review paper or something, I think that there's a much likelihood that they will accept the invitation and contribute. So use our own connection of the International Editorial Board to invite them to write. I think that, and most of the time, I think that they will say yes.
Okay, so I have one more question to all of you. So as I said before, we have published around 26 review papers series at February. So now their impact factor is now more than 3. So maybe at the end of next year, the impact factor of 26 review papers will be more than 8 or 9. So I'm now discussing with the next editor-in-chief about the new plan for the review paper series next year or 2 years later. So if this will be helpful or not. So do you have any comment for the review paper series, such as a cancer or hepatitis B? No comment. Okay.
If you haven't done, actually, have you done like fatty liver? I heard that there are lots of the paper coming in to journal with the like hepatitis, no, actually non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and getting a lot of the attention and to everyone. If you haven't addressed that, I think that will be a hot topic, especially with some of the active controversy going on. I think that the Dr. Wong also has a really great reputation in the field, that she can be really in charge to lead. I think that will be great.
Okay, Professor Piano.
Yeah, hello everybody. This is Salvatore Piano from Padova in Italy. First of all, I want to congratulate with the editorial team for the amazing job that you have done. So the fact that the impact factor is increased this year, where almost all the hepatology journal had a decrease, is impressive. My perception, I agree with Dr. Yang, that in spite of being a first quartile journal, we are still not very much recognized in our field. We are not very famous as a journal. And I think that one step that is very important is to increase the visibility of the journal. And one way to increase the visibility of the journal that is almost cheap, that we should consider, is what Dr. Polko commented, that is to increase our presence on social media. I mean, one strategy perhaps may be to ask to all the editors to provide a very small abstract for doing a tweet, and this will also improve the number of citations. There are studies in the field that show that papers that have been commented on Twitter, for example, have more citation than other journal. This is not very expensive. Now we have also some tools such as artificial intelligence or ChatGPT. You can now also just put the abstract there and ask to the ChatGPT to have a tweet, and then you have to just to put that on social media. Therefore, my first strong suggestion is to have presence on social media, in particularly Twitter.
Okay, Professor Chen, do you have any comment?
Yeah, I would like to echo the Professor Piano's suggestion. If you want to have, you want to tweet our the paper published in CMH, the easiest way is to have a graphic abstract, so that you use a graph and add a few sentences, so that will deliver you a main message on the social media. I think that will be a probably the easiest way to make more researchers know the paper, and hope that they can cite the paper. Yeah.
Okay, Professor Paul, please.
Yes, and I think here, because as you said, that you hope to get more funding for this, I think here that you could actually hire a younger junior faculty member who could be in charge of this or not, or invite a younger faculty member. They're much more facile with the social media accounts, but you could bring somebody in who could promote the journal's highlights for the month on Twitter. And I think that would also increase following and also then increase visibility such that when invitations go out for contributions, I think people will recognize CMH more so. And I agree that we should also wade into some of the controversies of some of the topics that are currently being debated, of which, of course, MASLD is the most topical, but there are certainly others out there. And there it might be useful to even get feedback from some of the younger hepatologists to learn what it is that they find controversial and helpful as well. And our meeting with a group of younger hepatologists might be very useful, both trainees and junior faculty.
Okay. So I'm not sure whether young faculty hepatology will take over this task. So maybe we should hire someone like a secretary. It needs some money. So yes. So Sylvia, can you do you have comments?
Yes. Thank you. First, I would like to congratulate because this is fantastic. From my view, this is a really amazing job. So please don't change the things that are good. Keep it the good things. But I agree with all the comments, and I have to say three things that I would like to highlight. First is the idea of going global. I think it should be a priority, whatever is the instrument you want to use. But I agree we need to be in the mind of scientists or academics or doctors from the other side of the world. So this being global is, I think, should be a priority. I understand that there are many things that need funding. For instance, you might consider in the coming years having a presence in the big meetings of hepatology meetings, for instance, ASLD or for instance, EASL. So if you have the chance to have a funding, be in the commercial exhibition of this kind of meeting, I think we, the editors of the international editors or your staff also that usually go to this meeting, we can support 10 minutes, 30 minutes, being in the stand in the meeting, transmitting the idea of this is a good journal, it's worth to publish, etc. I understand that this particular suggestion needs funding, but the idea of being with a nice poster, everything showing the journal, the editors, the international editor, the impact factor, people see this and people, might consider publishing. So I think we can explore this idea. The second one is, I agree that perhaps one way is to use, I understand that the key opinion leaders are always busy. Some of them cannot answer your emails or lost your emails, but the suggestion of Professor Yang about doing a kind of personal invitation from some of us say, okay, please, could you write something short? For instance, if you propose to add a section which is perspectives or comments on other very important manuscripts from big journals and invite these key opinion leaders to give a perspective of something like that, and we can take the responsibility of contact them and say, okay, please, I mean, you mentioned someone you want to be in your journal, please, whoever this person is, please, can you write a perspective or something like that? So I think this is a way of doing actions being global. And the other things connected with the social media, I agree, social media is very important. Perhaps you can exposure the list of the top journals in gastro and hepatology. Being in the 12th position is something really big. So if you expose the list and say, okay, people, we are here, we are in the 12th position, where we are about 10 of impact factor, it could be great. So, I mean, I think it's, we can help, each of one can help to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your nice comments. And any other suggestion? So thank you for the hot discussion and suggestions. So maybe we should make the social media ID first. Then okay, so we have some messages.
Oh, okay, so I just wanted to, before we move on, there's a message in our chat. Somebody mentioned that LinkedIn would be the best social media platform for CMH because it's more professional. But during our discussion, as Professor Kuo and Chang mentioned, they both mentioned Twitter is the main source that they get their cited interesting journals from. So would you recommend Twitter over LinkedIn, or is Twitter too casual, or is there any other more positive impression of Twitter and it doesn't matter? Or would you say LinkedIn is the way to go? Anybody could add to this? Oh, okay, Twitter for now, I see.
Yeah, I think Twitter, we're not asking anybody to buy a Tesla. We're just asking them to use the platform.
Good point, good point. All right, so Twitter, so maybe once our Twitter following grows, we could start a LinkedIn and promote. So yeah, Twitter is maybe more accessible to everybody for now. So yeah, we'll make a note of that. So if we start a social media platform, that will be on Twitter. And so we actually, anybody else have any comments?
Yes, you can just link your account to Dr. Huang's and I think you'll be wonderful.
All right. All right. Okay, so we forgot to actually move on to the next slide. I think we finished all of our discussions, the 3 topics that we had for today. And yeah, we will move on to our best awards. If we could 그 슬라이드 바꿔주시면.
바꿨어요.
award 이거 벌써 한 것 같아요. Right, so yeah, so we will move on to the best awards, and we kind of gave away the first one already. So starting with the editors who handled the highest number of papers over the past year. And as you can see here, congratulations to Piano.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you handled a total of 8 papers from 2022 to 2023. Congratulations again, and we will be reaching out to you individually regarding your award. Now, our next award for the same editor who handled the most papers goes to Professor Naoshi Nishida from Kendai University, who handled a total of 5 papers from 2022 to 2023. So congratulations, Professor Nishida.
Thank you very much. I'm Nishida from Kendai University. Everybody hear me? I mainly handled the paper regarding the hepatocarcinoma, and I think there has been a successful submission, especially for the treatment translation research, which has clinically relevant content. So it would be lucky for me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your hard work. And actually, Professor Nishida, stay put because we have our next award. And which happens to be editors who handle papers with the most citations, and you also won this award. So Professor Nishida, congratulations again. You handle papers with a total of 27 citations. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Sensei. Is this real? I
And
can't
we will
believe
be
it.
contacting you individually regarding your award. And we have our last award for today, in the same category, editors who handle papers with the most citations. Congratulations to Professor Takumi Kawaguchi from Gume University with a total of 9 papers since 2022. And congratulations.
Maybe he's not here.
Oh, he's not here, but yeah, congratulations, and we will be reaching out to him on the side. And before we finish, we have a quick lucky draw game to give out some prizes before we go. And thank you for your participation today. So I would like to ask Professor Han to explain how this works.
Yes, each time is lucky draw time, and I choose 2 lucky professors using the simple application.
Yeah, so this is not rigged at all. This is a total artificial intelligence ran program.
Who is the first one?
Yeah, so it's a raffle. And are we gonna play?
So,
Yes, stop playing.
So the first one, the lucky professor.
All right, who's it gonna be?
Dr.
We have 2 winners today, so we'll choose our second winner.
And the second one is who is the lucky professor? I don't know. So the who is
Oh,
lucky
Professor Chusa.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And we have to personally, and there will be small gifts for you. Again, congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone, and thank you all for your attendance. And Professor Kim, would you like to add a few words before we wrap up?
Yes, thank you again for your kind comment and suggestions. So, and also thanks for joining the second international meeting. So hope to see you again next year. So maybe we can have a great news next year about impact factor more than 10. So this is the impact factor. So I'm very proud, but so yeah, our impact factor is more than the JHAB report. So thank you again. Please submit your nice paper to CMH this year or next year. So we will invite the international editors to write some review paper or editorial. Please do not ignore our invitation letter. So thank you very much. So
yeah,
is there any other comment? The last comment from the editors?
Thank you, and
Can we ask Dr. Wong to take a screenshot and tweet about us, and she's the most gifted tweeter, in my opinion, on the entire.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Dr. Wong, I'm just such an admirer of her, and I learned so much from following her. Grace, can you do that for us? You'll
Yeah,
do it great.
definitely. Yeah. So please look at the camera and smile. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Great. Yeah. Photo is taken. I will post it on Twitter.
You'll post
and
it.
I will
and, yeah, we'll
definitely
keep going.
add many names of our friends on the
Yeah.
paper.
Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
so
okay.
much.
Great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Good day to you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Are we long?
만들어요.